Wait. What did you just say?
I'm doing the podcast naked while I drink cold beer. That's today's theme.
Only in California. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Von Joseph here. It is Thoughts from LA to the UK, Does Word of the Week podcast. And apparently the word of the week is naked. So,
yeah, today's theme is so if anybody is wondering what I might look like naked, just head over to the website. There's some photos, and then you can get that awful visual of me being naked, laying in bed while I do your podcast today.
Yeah, that will be one of those awesome visuals that you will never be able to get out.
Yeah, you just lost half the listeners right now.
That's all right. It's why it's not a on-camera podcast when you're involved, because we have to be able to have some sort of quality control in action. So, I'm looking at the news here really quickly here. I'll just get right into it here. This man, I was reading, he's at a festival. I think it's out here in England, but I don't have the story in front of me. I was reading it earlier. And this guy is trolling festival goers, and he was selling hot dog water for 30 pounds for hot dog water. And people are actually buying this shit, man. Buying it.
I'm guilty. I'd be buying some hot dog water, dude. Have you had those hot dogs in the cart?
That's hilarious. I think the guy, I might have been in Canada. I don't know. I think it was in Canada. And he set up a booth and at this car-free day festival or something like that. And he started selling bottles of unfiltered hot dog water for like $40. So it was something like $40. And people were buying that crap, man. That's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I'd try it. Because think about it, dude. Those hot dogs are really good that come out of the carts in that nasty ass water. And but I mean, babe, would you try hot dog water? There's a guy selling hot dog water.
He was telling people it was going to help them lose weight, make them look younger, and increase brain function and improve vitality. So there was something to it. It wasn't just like, hey, have some hot dog water. They were like, here's some hot dog water. It's going to help you lose weight. You're going to look younger, and it's going to increase your brain function. Would you buy it?
Well, people will buy anything. I mean, how do you explain, half the stuff you see on TV these days is just nothing but shit, but that's what 99% of, as we discussed, 99% of the planet is completely fucking idiots. So this doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised the guy's not a millionaire, selling hot dog water.
Well, he is the CEO of his own company, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, so am I.
Maybe it was just like that. His own made up company to selling hot dog water.
Is he headquartered at 82 Ford Lane?
Good for him. Who cares? People bought it. Too bad for them. They got sucked. So, in Hollywood news, because you're in Hollywood, and it's always relevant to discuss Hollywood whenever you're on the microphone. I think it's always a relevant topic. I don't know if you heard about Brigitte Nielsen, but
I just read something this morning. Is it Flavor's kid?
No. She's like the old school. She's like the old school, like, I don't even know what you'd want to consider, but she's been around Hollywood. Like, she was with, like you said, Flavor Flav. She was with Schwarzenegger. But she goes back to
do I need to make another Rocky IV reference?
Yeah, and she was with Rocky too as well.
So there's only like a few people whose kid it could be: Flavor Flav's, Stallone's, Drago's, or wasn't she fucking Mark Gastineau for a while there for a minute?
I don't know.
The Jets linebacker. Did I just date myself?
Yeah, she was married to Stallone, and apparently she's got 4 kids. She has a Gastineau kid, Killian Gastineau.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, Killian Gastineau. He's almost 30. I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, she's got four sons. Yeah, so this kid's 28 years old. He's almost 30. but no, it's not Flavor Flav. She's married now. She's married to some 39-year-old guy named Mattia Desi. I think that's probably Italian, isn't it? So, yeah. But she's 54 years old.
54 years old, and she just
so
had a kid
this is
morning.
this is the thing. She's 54 years old. Who cares that she had a baby? You know, haha, big deal. Everyone has a baby if they want, more or less. Yeah, so she had a kid at 54, so she's going to be over 70 when this kid graduates high school. I don't think that's fair to the kid.
Well, I have some experience in this. Not that I have a 7-year-old kid, but I could tell you, my baby brother is 15.
Right.
And my dad is how old is? He's 69. Yeah. He's gonna be 70 in November, and my little baby brother's only 15.
How old's your mom though? How old's the kid? Your brother's mom?
Oh, this is my half brother then.
Right.
Stepmom.
Right.
Yeah, I think she's 14?
14.
Yeah, she's my age.
She's young.
Yeah,
then.
she's pretty close.
So she's a young gun then.
But they're divorced now. Because she realized that she married a 90-year-old man. Like all of a sudden she just woke up one day and be like, wow, my husband's old. I got to get the fuck out of here. And it's like, yeah, he's always been 10, 20 years older than you. And he was 40 and she was 21 when they met.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine like being with a 21-year-old girl right now?
My ex-wife was 20. Oh man, how old was she? We're almost at like the same age. I was. She was like 20. I don't remember. I think she was about 22, 23, maybe.
And then you guys split up because she didn't want to put it in the blue part anymore, correct?
So, yeah, we were. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me as I sit here thinking about it. But I guess like you said, when you get older, once you've hit, that's the thing too. When you're 60 or no, when you're 40, you're thinking, well, when I'm 60, she's going to be 40 and it's going to be brilliant, But when you're 60 and she's 40, she's like, this motherfucker's 60 and I'm 40. I got to get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. Well, it's funny. It's like remember when you're a guy in your early 20s and all you want to do is bang like old cougars in like their 40s and you got, like, this is rad. I'm banging this chick that's like, she's like 43 and she's showing me all sorts of stuff. And then you're a guy and you get in your 40s and all you want to do is bang 20-year-olds. Which we can't do anymore because my beautiful girlfriend is laying here next to me. You
have to speak for yourself on that one. I can tell you with absolute certitude that I have absolutely no interest, and you can put me on speakerphone for this one. But I have no interest in sleeping with anybody that's younger than like 35. None at all. Partially because they have no interest in fucking with my old ass, but.
Well, okay, Vaughn says that he has no interest in sleeping with anyone under 35. Now, we understand that you're just trying to score brownie points because you need a place to stay.
No.
When you come back to L.A. So as soon as she's out of the room, you're going to be like, dude, I can't wait to get to California and bang all sorts of 22-year-old tail.
22-year-old girls don't want 45-year-old guys unless they're producers or,
that's
celebrities.
True. Have you tried talking to anybody, especially a girl that's younger than 30 this day and age? I don't know if it's a sign we're getting older, or have you ever heard because if I'm on a commercial or I'm on set with something, a lot of times they'll cast other girls and they're young, and I remember being like sitting in the trailer and I'm like, these chicks are fucking stupid. Like, were the girls that dumb when we were 22, or were we just that dumb as well?
I think it's just all everybody was just a bit immature and still are at that age. And it all depends. I mean, you have to consider your environment and the demographic that you're dealing with. You're dealing with 20.
Are you saying that there's superficial, brain dead people in Los Angeles?
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Get the fuck out of here! No,
that's what I was about to say. But since you already nailed it on the head there, I don't have to go there now. So I think that. So
what you're saying is the entertainment business has people that are be able to make a living on their looks and don't have very much brains. This is an outrage.
There is a whole population of women out there in Los Angeles, California, just waiting to be Me Too'd into a freaking television part.
Yeah, and here's the best part, dude. there is, I would say, a bazillion gorgeous women in this city driving around in Range Rovers and Porsches and still writing their own name in crayon because they're so fucking stupid. But they're sitting up in the hills, because they're hot and you can, if you're a woman and you are somewhat attractive, you can move to LA and get everything your heart desires. You just got to put out a little bit. And yeah, this one's over here. Oh, you don't put out. See? Ooh, don't ever heckle me again. The girlfriend just says, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, well, you don't put out. So, hey, who took you to the beach yesterday okay. You're living pretty darn good, I'd say. Yeah, and today I'm taking her as I lay here naked, drinking beer, and she's like, what a catch.
Catch of the day. So,
by the way, if I may change the subject really quick, today's podcast is brought to you by Allagash. I'm a big fan of, I'm a Budweiser guy, but I do like different beers sometimes. But the Allagash White is one I like a lot too. I picked up a bottle of this Allagash triple Belgian style golden ale. It might quite possibly be the greatest beer I've ever had.
All right, so we're going to tag them in, and if they don't send me some sponsorship bottles of Allagash, then we're going to go back and have to re-edit this and take the name of their alcohol out. So so we were actually going to do this live today, but I figured that being that it's Sunday, we used to do Sunday shows live called What You Want to Say Sunday, and we'd have callers and so on, and it was always a technological gremlin disaster, so we stopped doing live shows. But we'll go back and reach out to Allagash. They're close to us here in Europe and England, so we'll see what they have to say. They'll probably say, we listened to your show. Can you remove our name from that, please?
Exactly. Yeah, we want we've looked up jonasgarvin.com. We want no association with him whatsoever. So why don't you guys go get you some tall cans of Budweiser and put on your tank top and go back to watching NASCAR.
That's hilarious. So, speaking of the gremlins that used to gooch the show on Sundays, Gremlins is being remade, apparently. And I was talking to yourself and a few other people, actually, earlier in the week with regards to Hollywood and their obsession with remakes films and TV shows, these reboots, these remakes, and so on. And I don't understand why it is so difficult to come up with original content that is successful. So they go
No,
back.
it's not hard to do.
Well,
they just don't want to do it because it's not money in the bank. You got to understand. I mean, I'm sure you know this. People that run the studios are the same people that run the fucking comedy clubs. They say they're about art, and they say they're about integrity, and they say they're about this and that, blah, blah. Bottom line, they're all about fucking money, And if they got to remake Gremlins because they can cash that check, they know it's going to make money. And rather, I mean, you got a town full of great ideas and unknown scripts and screenplays. And the guy who's Tannenbaum has a great screenplay, but nobody wants anything to do with it because, he's not a big superstar and it's not a bankable process. And if you ever watch any of these, Dances with Wolves, perfect example. The guy who wrote it was living in his car. All the studios passed on it because they said it wouldn't, be a good movie, blah, blah, blah. And we all know how that turned out.
Right.
Because people that own studios and make these decisions are not actors. They're not fucking comedians. They're not musicians. They're not entertainers. They're fucking business people. That's why, if at the same time, though, if actors and comedians and shit ran the studios, they'd be broke as fuck, because we'd all be, hey, that movie made $1 million. Cool. Let's go spend $2 on some Coke. But you need these people that are necessary evil, but at the same time, yeah, they remake fucking everything. It gets so fucking old, and usually the remakes are just fucking shit. Yeah. But since the like Chips, I used to love Chips, and then I saw the movie remake, and I liked all the guys that were in the movie, and I've worked with Michael on those Light commercials and everything, and I thought they were good in it, but just something was missing from the movie, and like Dukes of Hazzard, love Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott and all that, but just like it was. They're missing something. It's very rare that they are any good, these remakes. But there's some stuff that they do need to remake that I think would be rad as fuck. Like Smokey and the Bandit. That'd be cool. Speaking of Budweiser and NASCAR and tank tops. You know, I think there's a bunch of movies they should be remade, like Steel with Lee Majors. Have you ever seen Steel, Lee Majors?
No.
It's the worst, greatest movie of all time. It's about a bunch of ironworkers building a skyscraper, and they've got like 3 weeks to finish off. And oh yeah, it's like Roadhouse, but for ironworkers. but yeah, they remake anything that they can turn a buck on, and they're remaking Gremlins. So it's just a matter of time before they just wait. Just wait. You're going to see a Godfather coming up.
Well, here's a list that I've got of stuff that's coming out, and if you care to comment on them as I go, because some of these I feel they shouldn't be touched, and a lot of them are in just the chat speculatory speculation phase, I guess. But some of them are pretty much greenlit, and they might, I don't know if they're not going to follow the exact same format or not, but. So Gremlins, obviously, like we mentioned, 1984 is when that came out. They're bringing that out again. Spielberg, etc. They're going to be revisiting that.
Who, by the way, is a really, 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 really nice guy.
Yeah,
I had a chance to meet him once. He was cool.
Cool. So 1990, we saw John Goodman and Jeff Daniels do a film, and it was called Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia?
Yes, they're bringing that back. That's going to be
Is that the fear of remakes?
What? Oh.
Arachnophobia. Isn't that the fear of remakes? See what I did there?
Yeah.
that's called being clever.
So it's going to be done by apparently James Wan, who did The Conjuring and The Saw, or The Saw, just Saw. He's going to be bringing this remake, and he's not going to be directing it. He's going to be producing it, but they're still on the search for a screenwriter and so on. But anyway. Lady and the Tramp, Disney remake, animated feature. They're going to be yeah, they're going to be bringing that back. This is according to the Hollywood Reporter, and
I'm sure they're going to put a star-studded voiceover cast on there, taking more jobs.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I have to take exception to, just being in voiceovers myself. Obviously, I just finished my first Audible audiobook for Amazon, which was actually a brilliant experience last week.
You said Audible there for a minute because in the back of your mind you're thinking football.
No, it's called Audible.
You're like, I just finished my first Omaha.
Audible is the name of the company that Amazon owns. So, but anyway,
what
yeah.
Amazon own?
Huh?
What doesn't Amazon own?
Oh yeah, that's why they're the big shots, man. So, so apparently this Lady and the Tramp's going to be a blend of live action and CGI. And we'll see how that happens.
You know what would be rad if they remake Lady and the Tramp, but they cast Spuds MacKenzie in the lead?
No.
Did I just date myself again? Fuck it.
No.
Hollywood's remaking everything. Let's bring back Spuds MacKenzie.
No.
The original party animal. Don't tell me you didn't have a Spuds MacKenzie T-shirt in the 80s.
I didn't. I had that ugly ass dog on my shirt.
See, now he's better than me.
So I never saw The Killer, but they're remaking that. It's gonna be Chow Yun Fat. It's a Hong Kong crime thriller. But the original director was John Woo. He's gonna give the old Killer another go. The Gun Fu filmmaker is returning to the movie that kickstarted his career again.
Who's that?
John Woo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
That part. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so you're drinking Budweiser, or no, sorry, some shit that I can't remember how to pronounce. So
it's Allagash Triple Distilled Belgian Style Ale.
There we go.
Available at fine liquor stores everywhere.
Right. So Martin Scorsese directed a film called The Changeling. It's a horror film. I've never seen it, but apparently it's a pretty freaky film. They're bringing that back again as well.
Speaking of horror films,
yeah.
If I can interject real quick, I feel that, you remember, I think the last time that I really, for lack of a better term, shit my pants and, had fun at a horror movie was when I Know You Did Last summer and, the Scream movies are all coming out.
Really?
In the theaters. But dude, the past, okay, Hostel, I enjoyed. I didn't really like scream a lot, but like the past, what would you say, hon? Like 3-4 horror films we've gone to see, and like I'm like all pumped up because the reason you go is you like that cheap thrill of getting scared, and the past 4 we've gone to see, they like this, like The Witch, The Quiet Place, they fucking suck. They weren't even scary. There's like, what is this? Did I just spend like an hour and a half? What the fuck, dude? It's not that hard to make a scary movie,
Well,
and they can't even get that right anymore.
I think it's all relative, though. It's all a matter of what scares you. Because I remember the film. I think the last horror film that I saw.
Everybody walked out of the theater going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, well, that was just a bad film. So I think the last horror film that I went to go see in the theater was the Paranormal Activity, and that was ages ago, at least about almost 10 years ago. And I didn't think that was that great. And everyone was saying, "Well, this is like the
I would like to see that, but my
movie
chick
ever."
won't go see it because anything to do with spirits and all that shit, she won't go see because she's Indian. And you know how these people are with the fucking spirit world and shit. So like, they just won't fuck with it.
So you haven't seen? There's a new film out.
There's
a new film out right now, which is supposed to be the new Exorcist. If my computer would get its head out of its ass and open up this page, I could tell you what it's called because I'm drawing a blank right now. It's called Hereditary.
Oh.
And
Hereditary.
Yeah. Have you seen that yet?
No, we haven't, and I've heard mixed things on it.
Yeah.
Because we were at you remember ArcLight, right?
Yep.
That's where we hang out to go see our movies, and that's ArcLight Cinemas on Sunset Boulevard here in Hollywood.
Okay, that's enough plugging shit. That's not going to give us any money.
But oh no, they will. But they told us, the bartender said that one was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Hereditary.
Yeah, so I plan to go see that probably this week. I've got a new movie group that we're doing movie reviews. We're going to do podcasting on movies with a bunch of people that I did a film with a couple weeks ago, and that's on the list. So hopefully that one will be better. So moving on with the remakes, Steve Martin was huge back in the 80s, 70s, even the 70s, really.
He still is,
but not so much now. But he's still, top name, but he's not doing as much film work as he was back, 20,
I hear you. Okay, 30, I hear you on that
20, 30 years ago. But he did a great film back in the day called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Michael Caine, and they're bringing that back. And it's going to be called The Hustle. It's directed by Chris Addison, and this is his first film that he's going to be directing, I believe. And but he's done a lot of television work. He was on Veep and The Thick of It, and he's a BBC guy over here. He did Doctor Who. He was on Doctor Who and so on. I was on Doctor Who, so that doesn't mean shit. But so it's going to be his first movie, and it'll hit theaters soon, really soon. Apparently next week, it looks like.
Which is cool. I mean, the thing is, to me, if you do a remake and you give it a different title and like make it different, then it's not really a remake. It's more or less just kind of like hacking.
Yeah.
But in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like It's not. You're taking somebody else's idea, which they steal ideas by the second out here. If you could put your own twist on it.
Well, they changed the cast. It's not going to be men this time. It's Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson. So it's going to be about women this time and not men. So I think they're kind of just giving it that little bit of a spin.
Kind of like they did with Ghostbusters, which I never saw the remake of that. To me,
exactly.
That's something that shouldn't have been touched. I didn't even watch it, and my chick's like, "Why? Because it's got women." And I'm like, "No, because it's Ghost." To me, it'd be like if you did Goodfellas again. What's the fucking point? Don't do it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have redone Ghostbusters. And the only reason, I'll tell you why I didn't go see it, and it wasn't necessarily because it was a remake of a classic film, and especially I don't like when you touch Bill Murray films, but I took exception with the fact that again they did this to Black America. The only black person in the film is a fucking, what was she, like a goddamn janitor or some shit like that? She wasn't even, like a scientist like the rest of them. Same thing with the first one. The guy's just off the street. I want to, do whatever and bust ghosts. All the white guys are doctors, scientists, Professor Venkman, and so on. Here comes I don't remember the guy's name, but he.
Well, hold on. If I can stop you right there, because you see what happens when Hollywood makes a black guy a doctor. Okay, I'll give you Dr. Huxtable. He starts raping and giving fucking.
He was raping before he became Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. That's why we got to keep the white people the doctors and the black guys are cast as janitors. Because,
get the fuck out of here with that shit.
You give them an inch and they take a mile.
Get the fuck out of here with that
Bill
shit.
Bill Cosby's a fucking doctor. His wife's an attorney. Yeah. And, okay. Yeah. See what happened? Okay.
Anyway,
yeah, there you go.
The views and opinions expressed by the fucking the comedian Jonas Garvin do not represent those of the fucking show. So next movie that they're remaking, which I actually did go see this, and this was actually a remake anyway that I had already seen. The original film was done in 1960. It was directed by a guy named Roger Corman, and it had Jack Nicholson was actually in it. It was inspired by an off-Broadway musical. And they remade it in 1986. Frank Oz, the guy from the Muppets, but it was called Little Shop of Horrors.
Also the guy from Trading Places and the Blues Brothers.
Yep.
He plays the cop in both movies.
And he did the one of the earlier movies that was on the list that I was talking about, Arachnophobia, I think it was. He was he a part of that one? No, not Arachnophobia. Shit, which one was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they're redoing that. They're redoing Little Shop of Horrors, so that one's on its way out. Don't really care. I'm not really big into that.
Which was great when it came out. Steve Martin was and since we were talking about Steve Martin, I was trying to think. Is there anything he's done that's been bad?
I don't know. Again, that's all subjective, because what you think is
I
bad.
get that, but at the same time, hey, anything that Steve Martin's in is something that you're not turning off. Even his decent work is still like you'll watch the whole thing. You like.
Okay.
Like,
Pink Panther 2 was shit. All right, so
I didn't see it.
All right, well that was garbage. Or the first one. Sorry, I saw the first one. It was 2006. But okay, so here's the thing though. I went to see that movie with some friends. It was one of, how in LA you come out of the gym and they're like, hey, you want to go see a pre-screen of a movie? And they let you go and you vote on the movie and tell what you thought about it and so on.
And then they got free pizza and vodka right afterwards.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went to a pre-screen of Pink Panther and I thought it was horrible, but I'm not into slapstick comedy. So that's just not my thing, So, but the people that I went with thought it was great. For me, not that great, but most of his stuff is good.
What we need to get on the fucking show to talk about movies is because him and I argue about movies constantly. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would like to have him on. We should have had him on tonight or today, but you're naked
today.
So next time.
But here's the thing: is I'm naked and he's a big time executive, so he's probably not even up yet. He was over here yesterday. I will text you the pictures. We got him an early birthday present. Speaking of movies and remakes, he's a huge Star Wars dork.
Is he? Tell him I just did the Amazon stuff. I just did was directed by was one of the
Jeremy Guzowski?
No, from one of the original Star Wars cast. He was one of the he was one of the TIE fighter guys at the end of the film when they raid the Death Star. His name's Garrick. I don't even know if I should put his name out there like that. I'm sure he doesn't care, but yeah, he was one of the original Star Wars films, The New Hope. Anyway, so
I bought him yesterday. Well, we bought him. We were in Venice Beach. We hang out at the Sidewalk Cafe, and then we go down there for some drinks and some lunch, and fucking World Cup. Well, that's a whole other subject. But anyway, you know how they have a little art that they make there, like
right.
People paint paintings and everything. Okay. You're familiar with my love of like fine liquor store art. You've seen my mobster painting in the guest room and everything, right? Okay. So they've got an oil painting, right? It's the Last Supper. The famous painting of the Last Supper where Jesus and all his homies are like sitting on the table, right? Everybody's seen that.
The one where there's no women.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I found it's all the Star Wars characters from the original Star Wars. At the Last Supper. I will text you the picture. I gave it to him yesterday as an early birthday present, and he about shit himself. And it was only $20. And I'm telling him, I'm like, how is this only $20? And my chick's like, because it's crap. It's like fucking it's dogs playing poker.
It's
I'm
like the
this is
velvet
fucking,
painting.
yes, but to me, like, I mean, you've been to my pad, you've seen all my shit art. Like, I'm in my guest room right now looking at my Dukes of Hazzard oil painting, right next to my Henry Hill autographed picture from Goodfellas, and my Easy Rider poster, and my Mobster poster, and everything. But yeah, dude, it's the raddest poster. And there's another thing too they're remaking the shit ton of. These are all these Star Wars things.
Yeah, that's we're not going down that road because that's just a whole nother profit.
They're not remakes.
No, that's just a profit machine. That's all that is. It's just a money machine.
They were fun. I enjoyed them. They were fun.
I don't watch them. So, moving on.
There was a black guy in it.
Yeah, I don't care. I saw the one. I'm not interested. It's not Star Wars to me. Is when I was a kid, and it is what it was, and that's where it's going to always.
No,
be.
I agree with you on that one. It's to me, it's Star Wars. It's Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Everything else should be called
something else.
You know, hey, a space movie or something different because there's only 3 Star Wars movies. That's all there is.
Yeah. So,
and I argue with Jeremy about this. That's what I'm saying. We need to get him on the show because how many times has Jeremy gone to see that Solo movie?
That Solo movie's rubbish.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah. So
he's gone 4 or 5 times, dude. And here's what's the best part is. Like, you know how expensive it is to go to the movies here in Los Angeles. I mean, I think he goes for free because he's one of those fucking movie people that make. He's one of those remake people. He's the one making those decisions.
He's an executive, yeah.
Yes, he is, and it's weird because if the people at Amazon knew that he was over here binge drinking all the time, they'd probably fire him.
No, you can't say that shit. Come on. So let's move on. Let's move on.
Live.
We got a lot of films to cover. So we got a lot of films to cover. We don't want to talk about
keep going. Next film.
Star Wars crap. So this one's actually a big deal, and a lot of people, the rest of them, I'm just going to skip past the crap ones because they're making a lot of them, but this one's actually been a big deal. So, you know, John Landis, he made some amazing horror films back in the 80s, and they've actually brought out his son. I didn't even know he had a son that was in films. So they brought out his son to write the script on this film that his father already made. And it's an American Werewolf in London. And people are pissed off about this one, apparently. His son's going to be penning this one. And
I can't speak intelligently on the subject because I've never seen the original.
Really? Wow. This is up there with you talking to the last guy from last week, which show I didn't put up because I haven't listened to it yet, about Rocky IV. You have to see American Werewolf in London. This is an iconic horror film from the 80s. And but the issue is that Universal has brought on this guy, Max Landis, and one of the problems is that apparently
Max Landis just sounds like a superhero name, doesn't it?
It does. He's apparently been charged with some sort of some misconduct of some sort or something. So they'll probably
what did he do? Did he
anyway.
tell a woman that she was attractive or say hello to her? Because that's all you have to do anymore.
Yeah, so we'll see. So Drew Barrymore, she's been in films her whole life. She's a big time actress, and they're remaking one of her films. Who gets hotter
by the minute.
Yeah, so just imagine, just take a guess as to what film they're remaking of hers. Now I'll just give you a clue. There's all of these remakes are from the 80s, it seems.
Poltergeist.
No, that is actually an amazing guess, and that probably would have been the one that they should have done.
Okay. I'm gonna go with E.T.
See, yeah, never mind. She's been in everything, hasn't she? That's the one that you can't touch, E.T. again, but they're redoing Firestarter. So,
I haven't seen that one. I've only seen parts of it.
I don't think I've seen it in its entirety either. It's a 1984 film. It's a Stephen King book. You know, if you're a pyromaniac, you're really into that shit. They're redoing License to Drive.
Fire.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. I've never seen that. Apparently, it was a big deal. 1988 comedy.
Okay, hold on. You've never seen that?
Yeah. See, no.
I've seen it probably a million times. It's fucking funny.
All right. Well, I'll check it out. They're bringing it back. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Corey needs a job. There's only one of them left, and he needs to fucking work, dude. I mean, you know, it's just. So I don't blame him for remaking that because that's the only, you know. Okay, but here's what's next. Are they going to do another Stand By Me? Keep Corey fucking, because he got to eat, man.
Well, we don't. They haven't cast anybody in it, so we don't even know if he's going to be in it or not. So we don't even know what's really happening with that. Speculation in the speculation mill from the 80s films from 1986. They're bringing back potentially a Jeff Goldblum classic which was already a remake from the amazing Vincent Price film 1958,
The Fly.
The Fly. So we don't know for sure if that's happening or not, but there is quite a lot of chatter around Hollywood about that one. So we talked about Ghostbusters, and we talked about some of the cast members in that one, Dan Aykroyd being one of them. So they're remaking a John Hughes classic, and as you know, John Hughes made all the most amazing films in the 80s, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, 16 Candles, Planes, Trains, Automobiles, and whatever, everything else. God, he did National Lampoon's Pretty in Pink. Home, he did everything. Jeez, what a loss that was. So they're redoing The Great Outdoors, which was that John Candy, I think, and Dan Aykroyd.
John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, and I think before she got really big, Annette Bening.
Yeah. So they're bringing that out. The original film apparently brought in approximately $40 million at the domestic box office, and now Universal is aiming for an even bigger payday. They're going to be bringing on Kevin Hart, who is now Hollywood's go-to dark-skinned black guy, replacing Eddie Murphy because Eddie's in his 60s now, isn't he? So he's no longer as funny as he used to be, even though I think he's still a great actor. He hasn't really been making too many amazing films for quite a while. So, they're bringing Kevin Hart, and they will probably bring in The Rock to play
for The Great Outdoors.
Who else? They always seem to put Kevin with The Rock.
Well, I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, if you can, to me, I'm on the fence on that one. The Great Outdoors, because it's such a classic. It's a funny movie that you can sit there and watch with your 5-year-old niece, or you can watch it with your drunk buddies. You know what I'm saying? Because The Great Outdoors is just a funny movie. Dan Aykroyd's so good in it. John Candy's so good in it. If you want to remake it, as long as you don't remake it and make it too 2018, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like Kevin Hart, and I like The Rock, who I think is probably one of the most underrated comedic actors right now, The Rock. But he doesn't want to be able to rock anymore. He's Dwayne Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Personally, if my name was Dwayne, I would want to be known as The Rock. But because the only cool Dwayne is Dwayne Wayne from What's Happening. Now, see, okay, there you go. Why don't they fucking make that?
He's not the only cool Dwayne. There was
name another one.
Dwayne Wayne. Dwayne Wayne was from a different world. Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah. Dwayne from What's Happening. Yeah, Kadeem Hardison was not cool at all. He was not cool at all. And they're actually remaking that film. They're remaking that film that you just quoted from.
I had those flip-up glasses.
Well,
I had those flip-up glasses.
Well, you're a bigger geek than I thought you were. So that's a cool point minus for Jonas Garvin. And they're remaking White Men Can't Jump. Is one of the films that's on our list. You mentioned We Go on a Sizzler. So
are they going to call it Black Men Can't Swim?
I don't know what they're going to call it, bro. They're not going to call it anything racial like that.
Who's going to be that? Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson?
Wouldn't be surprised. But they need a white person, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson is most definitely not that. So here, to me, is one of the more controversial picks on the list here. And this is actually a really, really big one to me, and this is up there with Goodfellas, like you said. Scarface, they're remaking Scarface, and
it's been a remake since the original one in the 30s that Howard Hughes did.
Right. Well, I mean, they're remaking the more
the Al Pacino one.
The Al Pacino one, yeah.
And this time it's going to be about methamphetamine. It's going to be shot completely on location in Hesperia, California.
No, it's going to be shot in Los Angeles, or it's going to take place in Los Angeles, and it's going to follow a Mexican immigrant's rise to power. But apparently the movie's hit a few bumps along the way. The Universal film is originally supposed to be directed by Antoine Fuqua. I don't know.
Antoine, Tony Rocky Horror. You remember him?
So,
yeah.
But
Marcellus threw his ass off a fifth-floor window.
But apparently he's I don't know if he's still going to be in it or not. But they're remaking Rambo, which I think is another nightmare decision. But another one of those iconic films that shouldn't be touched. I highly find that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one because well, I mean, the thing to me about the remakes is it's like watching reruns, and you already know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And unless you completely remake it, like, and that's the problem. That's where they fail. They try to reinvent the wheel, and it comes out looking like a piece of shit.
Right.
So just leave it alone. Unless you're so good where you can remake Rambo to make it be like, okay, I know what's going to happen, but you made it in like a cool way, then, you know, you get a pass. But, you know, it's kind of like, and I know sequels are different than remakes, but like, have you seen Caddyshack 2?
Oh yeah, don't even take me there.
Okay, yeah, they tried to
Grease
duplicate. Yeah, exactly. You know, and like it's just what. And then the funny thing is too about these fucking movies is they have all sorts of screenings, and before they like some of these movies, even original movies, like you watch them and you're like, how the fuck did this get the okay for funding? Like, how did somebody watch this and go, yeah, let's put this in theaters? Like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Well, I asked myself that question loads of times. So,
what's even worse is I've been in a bunch of those pieces of shit. So I'm not really going to be, you know, I'm like, I got to eat. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, you're in that movie? Like, no, that's not me. But it says your name in the credits. It's like, no, that's a typo. And, I'm not in that piece of shit. That went straight to beta.
Beta. So in the consideration for time here, I'm gonna just run through some of the more notable ones that are left on the list here because we are almost out of time. But there's one on this list that I'm interested in seeing, and I haven't actually only just now seeing that it's on the list. I didn't see it yesterday when I was looking at the list because I hadn't made it that far down. So when we get to that one, I will stop and have a little discussion about that one, maybe even save it for last. So they're remaking the 1981 hit, as I did mention to you yesterday when we spoke before the show, Cannonball Run. So that's a 1981 film, which actually
Cannonball coming.
Yeah,
Cannonball.
the lambasted by the critics, hated that film, and it actually did 72 million at domestic box office.
Well, you know what? I got no problem with the remake of that because that movie says nothing. It's just pure stupid fun. That's all it is. So you could remake that in 2018 using fucking Hyundais and Priuses. If you got the right cast, it's just people that are going to be having. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to have Thomas Lennon, Robert Ben Garrett from Night at the Museum. They're going to be ones writing the script. Rawson Thurber from Dodgeball is going to be the director. I don't think they've cast it just yet. I didn't know Jackie Chan was in the original Cannonball Run.
Dude, you know what's fucking awesome is, like, if I may tell everyone, people think you move to Hollywood and overnight that, like, you just get a part in a movie and you're a huge smash success. Start watching some old Miami Vice, some old Cheers, some old Night Court episodes, and you'll see people that, like Kramer from Seinfeld has a bit part on an old episode of Cheers. Like, dude, it's, you know, like, and then you're like, oh, Jackie Chan was in the original Cannonball Run? Yeah, because he's been in the business for 50 fucking years. Yeah. He's just been a household name for the past, 10, 15 years.
A little bit longer than that, but
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah, it pretty much does. They're redoing Starship Troopers, which I never saw and don't care to see again, even though they're remaking it. They're remaking Valley Girl.
My chick loves that movie. I refuse to watch it.
Well,
I refuse to watch.
She can go see it again with her
Starship Troopers. She perked up right there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like Starship Troopers.
They're redoing the Nick Cage film from '83, Valley Girls.
Valley Girl, which I've only seen one time.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah, she's I didn't mind it, but the thing is, how do you remake Valley Girl? Because that whole totally gross out Valley Girl thing is not.
It's done. Yeah, it's done. I have
it's
no
not
idea.
Existence anymore.
I don't know. Alien Nation was a 1988 production. They're redoing Alien Nation. I don't know why they're doing that one either. That wasn't really that interesting.
I didn't know there was an Alienation movie.
I didn't either. I thought it was a TV show. So
now you're remaking shit that nobody's ever seen the first time.
in 2015, they had announced that Matthew Vaughn, the guy behind Kick-Ass and X-Men and all that other stuff, would be remaking Flash Gordon, which obviously was 1980, and they are making it.
Well, that'll make Seth MacFarlane pretty happy.
Yeah, so they're doing Flash Gordon.
They're remaking Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash
have
Gordon.
You seen Ted?
Part of it. Yeah, part of it.
Yeah, no, that's their whole thing is Flash Gordon, and what's his name has a cameo.
Okay, so Flight of the Navigator, never saw it. It looks like a kid film, but they're remaking that. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's like 1950.
Oh no, she's in there screaming Flash Gordon quotes right now. That's her favorite movie of all time.
Well, it sounds like you've got some movies to go see. Then they're redoing.
Now I got to shut the door.
They're redoing.
I'm just walking around the apartment with naked with a glass of beer.
Yeah, we don't need to know that.
From the bedroom.
TMI.
Yeah, you do.
TMI. Pet Cemetery is on that list for some reason. They're redoing that.
Which okay, I can agree with because you can remake that because it's a timeless movie. Pets die.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Stephen King.
But I'm sure that they'll remake it and involve all sorts of fucking iPhones and fucking tweets and instant chats and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're redoing a blaxploitation film called Cleopatra Jones from 1973. I don't know why they're doing that. They're redoing First Dates, which was, again, Drew Barrymore. She's making another appearance on the list with Andrew.
When are they going to redo the Mac?
Adam Sandler. Don't know. West Side Story, they're remaking. And the one that I mentioned earlier that I didn't know about until just now that I don't know if I'm really happy about, and it is this guy's very first film, as far as I'm aware, and it's features him coming into the scene singing Roxanne, and he's like, "You got a name, cop," and it's Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in
48 hours.
48 hours, yes.
Why remake it? Because they just do different buddy movies. Like every buddy movie with a black and white guy is based on 48 hours.
It is, isn't it?
You got Rush Hour,
Yep.
the one with Charlie Sheen, Money Talks. It's all just a base. So why do you need to remake that?
Because it was a formula that worked. It made $80 million at the box office, which was big back in 1980.
No. Don't get me wrong. 40 Hours is a great flick, and even the second one is fucking good.
Yeah.
Another. But I don't think you. Why would you remake that when you could just do another buddy movie on your own? That's how unoriginal Hollywood is.
Yeah.
You got the formula.
Yeah.
You don't need to go that hack. You don't need to go that much. You just get a black guy, a white guy, make them cops, and let the hilarious comedy ensue.
Yeah, right. Logan's Run, never seen it. Rabbit.
We should do a buddy movie. That's what we should do, dude.
All right, so you come out here or I come out there and we'll write a script and we'll film it. Highlander, they're redoing Highlander if anyone cares. That was pretty big for that specific type, that group that likes that kind of film. And they're doing a whole bunch of other ones that, like Thomas Crown Affair and all these other films that they're not as big as the ones that we mentioned. But 48 Hours, I think, is probably up there in that top 3 on that list that shouldn't have been touched. Scarface being another one in that list. Yep. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they've been doing this for quite a while. They did it. They started. I don't know when they started, but I know they did like The Honeymooners, and then they did Bewitched, and they started doing all the old TV shows. There was even talk when I was living in L.A. about redoing or doing a movie on Sanford and Son, a Sanford and Son film. Now, see, that I would have gone to see, but
I'm all for it.
I don't know if it's not going to translate well. It's probably why I never made it.
Well, here's the thing: it won't go over in this politically correct deal, which is why they haven't remade Blazing Saddles.
Oh God!
Which I think they should never do. At the same time, I think maybe they should, but they should keep it real and you watch Blazing Saddles probably like I do, like once a week,
right?
And you'd never get away with that shit anymore. And you know, people are so, every time it's on TV, you see people posting on social media like, watching Blazing Saddles. You can never make a movie like that in this day and age. It's like, why not? Make a fucking movie like that. It just brings it to the table. What everybody's thinking, what's under everybody's skin, is just, you know, and that was the genius of Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor saying, hey, this whole fucking country's full of fucking racist idiots. We're going to bring it out to the head. And, you know, and that's what the great thing about watching Sanford and Son, I still fucking watch it because it cracks me the fuck up, because Fred Sanford was like one of the biggest bigots on the planet, right next to Archie Bunker.
Yeah, they were the top two. They were definitely.
Oh, dude,
the top
it's like
two.
he's
George Jefferson was rounded out the top three.
Yes, and it's like, but you sit there. It's like Don Rickles says, I make jokes about racism because that's what racism is, a fucking joke. And you know, you sit there and you fucking crack up. But I guarantee you, if you showed Blazing Saddles uncut, not the fucking AMC version on TV on Saturday afternoon, the uncut Blazing Saddles to a 21-year-old girl. Well, she's, you know, over at your place and, you know, having a good time. But to get back to the earlier part of the show, but she would probably get on her Instagram and be like, oh my God, I'm so offended. And, you know, it's just, that's the shit they need to be remaking. But remaking it, keeping it true to itself.
Well, you know, you can't do that now. So you can't even have Friends. They relaunch Friends, and everyone's all upset about the fat jokes and the fucking this and that. So it's just not. It's just times change, and that is what it is. So, you know, but whatever. We've created this reality, and we have to live in it now. So. We're out of time.
I haven't created shit.
We're out of time. We're out of time. I just came across a whole list of sequels that they're doing, and I have to tell you, we need to do this show. We should just end this show and just start the next show now.
You want me to get Jeremy next Sunday?
This is about some serious shit on this list, man. I'm talking like, I'll just give
Sequels are not remakes.
No, it's not a remake. These are all sequels. I'm gonna say two. I'll give you two. I'll give you three, and I'll tell you one. I'll give you three.
Give me four, because I'm hungry for more.
No, I'm only gonna give you three because it's gonna spark too much conversation, and we're out of time. We got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, because it's fucking bedtime over there for you.
Well, it's Sunday.
I gotta get some lunch.
I gotta eat some. Yeah, I gotta eat some dinner. So, the one that I'm excited about, because I did see the first one, and I've never really been a massive Ben Affleck fan. I like his work, and I can't talk bad of him because I was in Justice League. You guys go check that film out. It was out.
Isn't it great how like we talk shit, but then we selflessly promote
there
ourselves?
Has to be an
I
asterisk
about the guy because I was in his movie.
There has to be. So The Accountant was a good film. I found it to be a really good film. I thought it was good, and they're making a sequel.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, and they're making a sequel. They're making a sequel. I'm gonna save.
The Accountant?
I'm going to save my favorite one for last. I'm going to try and scroll down and find another one. This one I think is very controversial that they're remaking. And at the time, it was right around the height of Mel Gibson's bigotry. And it came out, and it was a problem. So they're doing Passion of the Christ 2. I don't know why, but they are, and that was like, shit, that was almost 20 years ago, wasn't it? Let's see if there's a date.
Well, you know, the woman worked on the first one. She was over in Italy on that film. Yeah, she worked on the first one. And, babe, are you doing the sequel? Passion of the Christ? What are they going to call the sequel? Easter? Oh, fuck, I'm on fire today.
So
That's awesome.
Rounding out the top three, there's actually some good ones on here. I've actually auditioned for one of them as I'm looking at the list right now. I'll give you four just because you asked for four, and this fourth one is going to be interesting. But I'll give you the fourth one now, and I'll give you the fourth one as number three, and my number three as number four. So Beetlejuice, they're making a part 2. 1988 cult classic.
I don't.
I knew you.
How's
See,
that gonna
you
work?
can't comment on it now. We got to save it for next week. So my
All right.
one
I'll do some research.
My one that they're doing that I can't believe they're doing, which I think is a big mistake. They're going to ruin it. And I'm giving the same response that you just gave on that Beetlejuice. And I fingers crossed that it's actually good. This is one of the best films that this actor has ever made. And I don't know if it can be duplicated or Eddie Murphy did Coming to America. They're making a sequel.
You know what's funny? I was just about, in my head, this is why we're good to go. I was just about to say, I'm like, he's going to say Coming to America.
Yep.
Sequel to that. Sequel or remake?
Sequel, part 2. Apparently, the rumors started swirling around March about last year when Eddie Murphy's fans started noticing some of his stuff on his Twitter account.
You know what?
He was posting stills from the movie.
Right, with the same cast, and if it's done right, I'm all for it.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be him playing the lead. It's going to be one of the kids, one of the guys from the TV show Blackish. I don't know if you've ever seen that before.
Yeah. See, no, don't fuck with the good thing. It's like when they did Blues Brothers 2000.
No, I never saw
totally
that.
ruined.
I wouldn't
Brothers.
even have bothered to see that, so I couldn't even take it there.
I saw 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, no. And it was a shame that Dan Aykroyd would even do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the Blues Brothers itself is such a great flick.
Yeah.
I get what they were trying to do, trying to capitalize on it and this and that, but like, and see, when I talk about the Blues Brothers, my Chicago accent kicks in there. But you know, so if they make a sequel to Coming to America, it better be done right. And that's the problem I have with a lot of these fucking sequels. They don't, like Caddyshack 2. We just spoke about that. They
don't do good with sequels. Sequels, and I mean, and it's different when you're doing sequels and you're cranking them out versus sequels when, you know, something like this and it's 30 years
Well, perfect
later,
example,
so.
we were talking about Mel Gibson. Lethal Weapon 2, I thought was better than Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. I don't.
Diplomatic immunity.
I never saw Lethal Weapon 2, so. Anyway.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope, I'm not. We can discuss it next week. We're out of time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Go to jonesgarvin.com if you want to see more comedy from this guy. Follow him on
or the
Garvin.
Ice House in Pasadena this Friday.
There you go. Ice House in Pasadena this coming Friday. California. Go check him out. Follow him on Instagram at...
Hey, Lou.
Yeah, don't follow him on Instagram because he ain't talking. So...
You know, follow me on Instagram.
Where? What's up? Quick.
At Real Jonas Garvin. I'm sorry I got interrupted there. The Cubs were winning 5-0, and they just lost the game. So
that's all right. So okay, so we'll catch you guys next week. Hit us up at v3tv.uk. You can follow us at Instagram at v3tv, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Cheers.